Hey friends, it's Tyler from Rehab to Fab Designs, and this week we are going to be taking this chair that I picked up from a antique shop and changing it from a plain and boring little seat to an upgraded one using Dixie Belle's new Royal Rooster decoupage paper. The chair was actually in really good shape when I got it and still had a pretty slick finish on it, so I started by scuff sanding it. For that, I am using sandpaper in 150 grit and also a sanding block just so I can wrap it around it and have something to hold on to. And we're going to give the whole chair a nice scuff sand just to kind of take off that shiny top coat that's on it so our paint will adhere better. Once our scuff sanding is complete, it is time to prep our piece to get it nice and clean, because we want to make sure we have a clean surface for our products to go onto. For that, we are using White Lightning by Dixie Belle. White Lightning is a cleanser and degreaser, and you simply spray it on and wipe it back. And as you can see here, this piece is super dirty, so you want to make sure you get all this off. Continue doing so until your paper towel or your towel, whatever you're using, is clean. That way you know you have a good clean surface to get started. Now, I'll be honest, when I got this piece, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with it. I purchased it ahead of time so I could use it on new release items that I was being sent from Dixie Belle that I was so excited to use. And I knew I was going to put a rooster on it if it fit properly. But because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do to the piece yet, painted a solid neutral color, blend it with a couple of funky colors, make it super bright and cool, and or just stain it. I decided to go ahead and prime it just in case, because I wanted to make sure, again, I have a good surface for my product to stick to, and Bonding Boss is the way to go for that. Bonding Boss is a combination of products from Dixie Belle known as Boss as well as Slick Stick. So by combining the two together, you have a perfect combination so that you have your primer, which is going to prevent bleeds. It's going to prevent stains, it's going to block odors, and it's also going to make sure your paint will adhere even to slick surfaces such as metal or plastic, as Slick Stick used to do. So you get the combination of both those products now all in one. So I put one coat total over this piece. I'm using a good brush. It's a synthetic brush from Dixie Belle. I'm not worried about it with this product because it is water-based, so I can simply wash my brush when I'm done. And I finally got my paper from Dixie Belle, and I am so excited. I want you to look how cute this is. This is called Royal Rooster. It is a fabulous rooster with lots of florals and a little necklace design, and it is so cute, and I can't wait to get started. We're going to put it right on the seat. For that, we are going to be using Dixie Belle's Clear Coat as our decoupage medium, and we'll be applying it with another synthetic brush from Dixie Belle. And once again, because we're using water-based products, we don't have to worry about running a good brush because you can simply clean it with soap and water one day. So to make this paper look more organic and natural, instead of putting it on and leaving these straight edge lines around the paper showing on my piece, I am going to gently tear this paper so it'll have more of a jagged, not really a smooth line around it, and it's going to make it blend in easier with my paint so that you can't see a harsh line around the image itself once you get it on the piece. When decoupaging, I like to first put a little bit of my medium, Dixie Belle's Clear Coat here, onto my piece, and then lay my paper on top of it, and then work in smaller sections. You want to try to lay your paper down so that it's straight for one, and then also you want to try to make sure that it is smooth with as little wrinkles as possible. Now with this paper, it's very thick, so once you lay it down, if you need to, you can lift it back up to readjust it to straighten it or to remove some of the wrinkles. The little magenta colored device you see me holding here is a device called a thingamajig from Dixie Belle, and I am using it as a squeegee to kind of press out and remove some of the wrinkles that are left behind. So once I have that first portion that I laid down nice and smooth, I will go ahead and lift my paper up, apply some more decoupage medium or clear coat on the chair again, and then we will smooth that piece out as well. And we'll continue doing this until the whole piece of paper is laid nice and smooth on my chair. Now you do want to apply your clear coat over top of the decoupage paper as well. You can choose to either do this as you go along like I'm doing here, or if you want, you can wait until the end and just put a coat of it over top once you're complete. Now, I would like to point out this little area right here where you see the arrow where there's a little kind of a hump here in the paper. The reason you'll see this is because this chair is not perfectly flat. So as is common in seats, they sometimes have kind of a little dip where your legs go, and that's the case with this chair. So when you're decoupaging, obviously you want to put it on the flattest surface possible, because anytime you have raised areas or low areas and your paper lays over top of that, you're more prone to have wrinkles around that area. So for that, I'm just going to do the best I can to try to smooth this out. So I am doing kind of one side, and then I'm coming down in the middle right over top of where that little bump is, and then doing the other side, just knowing that I may have a little bit of a wrinkle here because again the surface is not completely flat. I use my thingamajig once again to smooth out any wrinkles, and as you can see when I'm done, it is pretty much smooth. Next, it's time to use our paint to blend our decoupage paper into our project, because we don't want to see those lines. As you can see here in the background, you can kind of see the tattered edge where I tore my paper, but we are going to paint around that so that we have one nice image between the paint and the paper itself on the whole seat of this chair. That way it looks all cohesive. So for that, because this chair is kind of a blackish brown color because of the original stain, I'm going to be using chalk mineral paint to blend the paper in, and the first color I'm using is called Coffee Bean. To apply this, I'm using a synthetic brush from Dixie Belle. I think it's an oval, and you can see here I'm just kind of pouncing it into place all around the sides of this image and also in between it on top of the paper, because again our goal is to blend this in. The next color I'm going to use is Caviar by Dixie Belle. It's chalk mineral paint as well, and we're going to use that same technique where we just pounce it in, even using the same brush to kind of blend the two colors together, so we get a little bit darker paint with that chocolate brown color called Coffee Bean, and it's going to blend these two together so that they're seamless. To add a little bit of highlights in it, we're going to use a lighter color, and this time it's going to be Driftwood, which is a nice light gray. For it, I'm going to just be using a small artist brush and just adding it here and there over the overall design in the seat, and then we're going to use that same previous brush that we used for the Coffee Bean and the Caviar to pounce it in again, just to blend it all in so that we have a little bit lighter pieces in it, because the paper itself has a little bit lighter colors in it, and we want to make sure it blends all around the outside of the design in with the top portion of the design, which is the paper itself. We do have a little bit of excess paper, as you can see here, around the seat. So to remove that, I am simply using my sandpaper and my sanding sponge to just kind of go right along the edge of that seat. And this paper is going to release easily, and we're going to have a nice smooth edge. Once my chalk paint was dry, I came over the top of the seat again with a coat of clear coat. Now, when I ordered this paper, I had visions of putting this on a super funky, bright color, but in the end, I really like the look of it the way it is because I feel like the background on the paper being kind of a chocolate and a black kind of blended together, I feel like it just matched the seat perfectly as is. So instead of painting the whole thing and making it basically the same color that it already was, I just went over the whole piece with Dixie Belle's Voodoo Gel Stain in the color called Tobacco Road. So I used my blue sponge from Dixie Belle and put the this water-based stain on it, and then just rubbed it all over the piece. And then once it was dry, I came in and kind of did a little scuff sanding just to make it a little bit lighter in some places, and that was it. I think it turned out super cute, and since I have lots of chickens and roosters and love them, I'll be keeping this piece, I think, for myself. So here it is again. Here's a look at it before. Just a simple little wooden chair that I picked up, and then here's a look at it after with Dixie Belle's new decoupage rice paper called Royal Rooster, and then some blended chalk paint on the seat to help that paper blend seamlessly, and a little touch up on the stain on the chair, and it was done. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please be sure and follow along with Rehab to Fab Designs as well as Dixie Belle. Make sure you turn on the bell for notifications.